Who do you trust to control your fucking mind?
Once you get towards Neuralink into people's brains, there's an element here where it'll turn us superhuman. The flip side of that is
They can manipulate every one of your senses: touch, smell, taste, insert emotions, fear.
I don't think any country is prepared to govern technology as powerful that we're going to be developing. These are so much more powerful than anything that has come before, 1,000 times bigger and more important.
Something that Huberman brought up is that I was like, well, if is going to help the blind see, then could they project a total false reality into your head? Meaning you're seeing who knows what, shit in the skies everywhere. Sounds like they could recreate an entire false reality. He said, yes, they will have that ability, but not only will they have that ability, they can manipulate every one of your senses: touch, smell, taste, insert emotions into your brain, fear, whatever it is. And I was like, holy shit, like they could manipulate your entire reality into a false reality. I mean, you think that's... And then I asked Dr. Ben Carson about it, and he said, who's a world-renowned neurosurgeon, he said, yes, absolutely. He goes, or, they could use it for good, but he goes, which he kind of put it on me. He's like, well, what do you think would happen? And like, would it be used for good eventually, or would it be used for evil? And I mean, what are your thoughts on that? You think that's a real possibility?
I mean, yeah. So first of all, like, we don't understand the brain too much today, but eventually we will. Like, science is going to solve this problem, right? And everything you just mentioned is ultimately going to be on the table. Manipulating your emotions, manipulating your senses. The senses thing is already happening, where I think in monkeys, they've shown that they can, they don't know what it's like from the monkey's perspective, but they're able to project on a grid of a monkey and get them to like click on the right button really reliably.
Wow.
So they somehow hook into basically the neural circuits that are doing the visual image processing in the brain, and they're able to project things into their vision such that the monkey will always click the button that you want it to click, and then you give it a treat or something.
Damn.
And so yeah, manipulating vision, manipulating your senses, manipulating your emotions. This will be longer term, but leveraging your memories. Manipulating your memories, manipulating that stuff is on the table. The other stuff that is, I think, more exciting is being able to hook into AI, and all of a sudden I have encyclopedic knowledge about everything, and just ChatGPT or other AI systems do, I can think at superhuman speeds. I can all of a sudden I can I have way more information I can process. I can understand everything that's going on in the world and then process that instantaneously. I think there's an element here where it'll legitimately turn us superhuman from a just cognitive standpoint. But then to your point, the flip side of that is the risk the other way, which is that you're going to have it's a huge attack vector.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not super tech, but your company, Scale AI, you basically, correct me if I'm wrong, Scale AI is basically the database that the AI uses to come up with its answers and answer your prompts and all of that, correct?
Yeah, so we do a few things. So we help large companies and governments deploy safe and secure advanced AI systems. Mm-hmm. We help with basically every step of the process, but the first thing that we were known for, and we've done very well, is exactly what you're saying, which is creating large-scale data sets and creating data foundry is what we call it, but creating the large-scale data production that goes into fueling every single one of the major AI models. And if you ask questions in ChatGPT, that question, it's able to answer a lot of those questions well because of data that we're able to provide it. And as AI gets more and more advanced, we're continually fueling more advanced scientific, advanced information and data into those models. And then we also work with, the largest, enterprises and governments like the DoD and other agencies in the US to deploy and build full AI systems leveraging their own data. And our strategy as a company has been, how do we focus on a small number of customers where we can have like a really big impact. So we work with the number one bank, we work with the number one pharma company, the number one healthcare system, the number one telco, the number one country, America, and we work with all of them to like, how can you, no kidding, take how you are operating today and take sort of the workflows that you're doing today or the operations that you have today and use AI to fundamentally transform them. So if you're like the largest healthcare system in the world, you have to, provide care to all of these patients, millions of patients, how do you do so in the most effective manner? How do you do it logistically better? How do you improve your diagnoses? How do you improve the overall health outcomes of all of your patients? Like that's a problem that we help solve with them. Or for the DoD, there's so much that we can do to operate more efficiently and ultimately in a more automated way. I mean, you'll know this, I think, better than anyone. And so, how do you start implementing those systems with AI?
We'll dive way more in the weeds on that later in the interview.
Yeah.
Kind of where I was going with this was, if originally it was feeding the AI, you're given the data center, you're given the data to the AI to come up with the answers and answer the prompts. And so where I was going is, if you have Neuralink in your head and it's accessing your data centers, how easy would it be to just feed bullshit into the data center that then feeds everybody that has a Neuralink in their head? So it could be, it could be anything. I mean, here's an example. I'm a Christian. A lot of people think that AI is going to manipulate the Bible and change a lot of things. And so how easy would it be to just feed that into the AI data center? And then that's the new, whatever you feed it, that becomes the new truth, because that's what everybody's accessing, is that specific data.
Yeah, I think yes, for sure, that's a huge risk. And this is one of the reasons why I think it's really important that US or other democratic countries lead on AI versus the CCP, like the Chinese Communist Party, or Russia or other autocratic countries, because the potential to utilize even AI today, by the way, you can use it to propagandize to a dramatic degree. But yeah, once you get towards, you have Neuralink or other brain-computer interfaces that can directly, insert thoughts into people's brains. It's extreme power that has never existed before. And so who governs that power? Who governs that technology? Who makes sure that, it's used for the right purposes? Those are like some of the most important societal questions that we'll have to deal with.
Man, where do you even start with that? Who do you trust to control your fucking mind?
Yeah, I think, well, it's interesting. I think the one thing that I think has been, I think a lot of people kind of understand it now, and we were talking a little bit about this at breakfast, is like, even the degree to which even just general media today kind of controls your mind or controls the like opinions you have or the beliefs you have. And, we were talking about like, does the media prop up certain military forces to make them seem far more fearsome than they actually are? And like, there's like some low grade, you can kind of view like some low grade forms of like,
propaganda
manipulation, all that stuff is like happening, like, let's say like on a scale of 1 to 10 at the 1 or 2 level today. And then once you have Neuralink or other devices, it's going to be like a 9 or a 10. And I think it's really hard. I don't think any country is prepared to govern technology as powerful as the technology that we're going to be developing over the next few decades.
Yeah.
Like AI, I don't know if we're prepared. Brain-computer interfaces, I don't know if we're prepared. Large-scale robotics, I don't know if we're prepared. Like, these are technologies that are just so much more powerful than anything that has come before. Sometimes people will say, like, AI is the new mobile. It'll be as big as mobile phones. And it's just, no, it's going to be like 1,000 times bigger and more important and like more impactful. And it's not clear that we did the best job regulating mobile phones even. So it's going to be really important that we get it right.
No matter where you're watching Sean Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.